Hey Sagittarius, this is your reading for the end of September 2020. So I'm going to get started by giving you some channeled messages, and then I'll do two readings, one for your career and one for your love life. So when I was tapping into your energy, what I heard first was that you, Sagittarius, are wanting peace. And then I also heard that you are realizing what's left is just for show. And then the other thing I heard was trying to find the way to financial outcome that benefits all involved. So I don't really have too much more context to that yet, but hopefully the reading will provide that. And then something I just heard too was that you're waiting for the next round. So if it's in regards to your career or your work, it could be that maybe either you or your company is financially struggling, maybe because of the health crisis going on, and so perhaps you're just waiting for the next round of promotions or raises to see what happens there. So, but let's go ahead and get the overall energy for you, Sagittarius, for the end of September. And this is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Okay, so we have Amethyst. And so it says that this card is for train wrecks who go off the rails on the wet and wild route to Bacchanalia or any Pisces. So Sagittarius, you could also have Pisces in your chart. So it seems like there could be some drinking or drinking in your environment. And the card says to get drunk on your higher self. So just watch out for drinking in the end of this month. And also obsidian. So it says if you're looking to cut negative people or patterns out of your life, that is something you might be focusing on in the end of September. It says protect your soul. And it also says that this obsidian could be helpful for Scorpios. So you might either have Scorpio in your chart or be dealing with a Scorpio or someone who has Scorpio in their chart in the end of September. You also got barite, so you're being encouraged to do meditation in the end of this month. Also, ametrine, so it says you might need help with your thinking. So you might need to do something with your home office if you're working from home. And if you don't work from home and have an office somewhere else, it just seems like there could be some like energetic sprucing up that could happen there. That maybe if you're feeling blocked or confused at work or things just aren't happening very easily, it could have something to do with your space being an overwhelming factor. And the Herkimer diamond, so it says it's for Reiki masters, travelers on the spiritual path, and highly sensitive people. So all you Sagittarians watching, you could be highly sensitive or have intuitive gifts yourself. You could also be a Reiki practitioner, but I'm also seeing that this could mean that you might need some help with a spiritual cleansing, which you can do yourself. But since it specifically says Reiki, if that's something that you have been thinking about or that you have done before with a practitioner and that's been helpful for you, then this might be a good time in the end of September to think about booking an appointment for that. And it's cool because there's some Reiki practitioners that can practice Reiki from a distance. So if you haven't been getting like regular spiritual treatments that you normally would, some of that can be done remotely if you haven't been doing that due to like needing to stay home or because of quarantine. And again, it does say power wash your energy, so that goes along really well with that thing about the home office or your living space or wherever you do your work, that there's just like some cleansing that needs to be done there. And I don't get it to be like cleansing because, there's something terribly wrong or you have some kind of attachment or something. I'm just more sensing that it's like a feeling of overwhelm or maybe a lack of motivation. So spiritual cleansing can definitely help with that too, and just clearing out any maybe built up energies in your home, especially if you work from home and all of a sudden you're kind of having all this information, and even though the people aren't present with you in your home, depending on the work you do, it might energetically feel that way. So this is kind of new for everybody, especially for people that didn't work from home before, or if you have or you did but your spouse didn't and they're home all the time now. It just really can change the dynamics of your work. So you also got this stone, astrophyllite. So it says the people that need it is anyone with a permission slip for an intergalactic field trip, unlock your highest potential. So I'm seeing that to go along with the meditation too. So if you're just feeling kind of stagnant in your energy, perhaps there's a different type of meditation that you can do to kind of re-engage your spiritual practice or take it to the next level, like transcendental meditation or something like that could be helpful. Smoky quartz, so again, some more cleansing energy, and this is a bit more about protection. So once you've done this cleansing of your space, it might be a good idea to put some boundaries up, which doesn't necessarily have to be this stone. These cards are cool and they have a lot of information, so I don't necessarily use them in these readings to say that you need every one of these stones to help you on your path. I mean, if you're into crystals, you can certainly take a look at purchasing those somewhere, but it's more about the message. So don't feel like you have to get smoky quartz to protect your space or protect yourself, but it is a good and widely available one if you are interested in that. So if you've been feeling like the glass is half empty, and again, just kind of unmotivated, or you've been feeling really like in your head and just kind of swimming in your thoughts, then some type of spiritual protection may help with that. So it says that if you do choose to use a crystal for this purpose, you can wear it on a chain around your neck or hidden in your pocket, wherever you're certain to find difficult people in your path, family dinner tables, conference rooms, subway cars. So yeah, there's just, the world is kind of different right now. And so energetically sensitive people are really great at attuning to this and learning how to survive in a new atmosphere. But things are just changing so rapidly, and the general population that you find yourself around, or even your family and the other people living in your home, might be struggling with that, and there's only so much you can do individually. So just having some things around you, whether that's crystals or some other kind of spiritual tool, might help you to get through the day when you have to encounter, especially a lot of people, or you're still using public transit and things like that. It might just be helpful for you to carry something with you that makes you feel protected and safe and just light in your energy. So you also got topaz, and it says this could be useful for anyone that's either burning the midnight oil or burning the candle at both ends, or if you're burning bridges, or all of the above. So I'm sensing a lot of change for you in the end of September, Sagittarius, which likely didn't just start happening. It's probably kind of that ball has been rolling for a while, but it does seem that something about your living space or the way you work or where you work has changed. And so maybe you're finding yourself just not being motivated to do work in the daytime, which happens sometimes. Coincidentally, there is a big asteroid that is passing the Earth right now. And I personally noticed that when there is something happening in space like that, where an asteroid or a comet is coming really close to Earth, that sometimes it's easier to work at night for whatever reason. There's just a lot of extra energy that comes with that. So you might find yourself just really, being in the zone at night, but also, I'm sensing that a lot of you probably work with other people or live with other people or something like that. So that can make things kind of like difficult when you're on different time schedules, perhaps if one of you works in the morning and then you're feeling like working at night. Or it could be that you feel like you have to work at night because maybe your home life has changed in some ways. And then finally, you have azurite, which says the people that need it are the materialistic, vain, and always craving. That's not a judgment. That's almost all of us, Leos especially. So the signs that came up here was Pisces, Scorpio, and now Leo. So Sagittarius, you could have those in your chart, or you could be dealing with somebody that has those signs in their chart in the end of September. And so it says explore your hidden depths. And so it seems like there's something more going on in your energy here. Like I said, maybe you're going to unlock some insights about the way you work or something like that. Maybe some kind of anomalies in space or space activity are affecting your sleep patterns or just your patterns in general, or some other kind of new spiritual insight that ultimately helps you in unlocking, your motivation. And so again, that's not to say that anyone should feel that, some kind of, I don't know, spiritual magic was put on them or something. It's just there's all different energies that surround us at all times. And with things changing in the world and more people being home than ever, it's like your whole energetic environment could have changed, even though you might not be that aware of it. Or maybe your awareness of it is only the things that are kind of like irking you. But so, I try not to get too up in my head about what that means, about needing protection or needing cleansing. The most important thing about that is that you're being given a message from Spirit that you have the ability to change your energetic environment or to energetically protect yourself from just taking on everything that's out there, whether it's specifically meant for you or not. A lot of times energy just kind of like bumps up with your energy, and if you're a sensitive person, it kind of can transform from there. So that was a lot, but that is your general energy for the end of September, Sagittarius. So I'm going to go ahead and get some cards and take a look at what's going on with your work in the end of this month. So Spirit, can you please show me what Sagittarius needs to know in the end of September for their career or work? So you got this number 5 in reverse, which is feeling alone. And for these readings, I'm taking reversals to mean that this could be a challenge for you in the end of the month. And so when the cards come upright, I think of that as an affirmation from Spirit that this is something you're already doing or will be doing, and that's working well for you, like no problems there. And then just the reversals is just making you aware of some possible challenges that you could come up against so that you're prepared for them. So it seems that you, Sagittarius, could be feeling a little bit lonely at this time. It could possibly be because, like we were talking about, maybe something with your work has changed or you work from home and you kind of miss that environment of being with people in person. And since it was reversed also, it could mean that someone else in your environment is feeling lonely. Who knows, maybe because you are focused on other things, especially if you are in a relationship with someone else who may be staying home. It's just such a strange time because, you may have been used to that when you were both home, this indicates, that we're going to be spending time together. And so it can be a little difficult to navigate that when you both may be home all the time for work. So let's see if we can get any more information about feeling alone. So underneath that in reverse came out this number 29 that says winning, succeeding, victory, and outcomes. And 31, celebration, bliss, joy, and delight. And then 26, acknowledgement, seeing, knowing, and acceptance. So with the feeling alone and winning reversed, and with winning, I always notice this woodpecker here, which stands for following the beat of your own drum. To me personally, that's not exactly what the card says, but that's always what shows up for me. And also right now, I mean, it probably should, but it usually doesn't give me this vibe of like Alice in Wonderland with the croquet game, but it does for your reading, Sagittarius. So maybe that has some kind of significance for you here with the red roses. So it being reversed, it just seems there could be some challenges for you in the end of the month, like succeeding in some project that you have, or perhaps you have some big meetings coming up where you need to describe to a group of people, you know, a sense that you have about how to move things forward. So following the beat of your own drum there, but it might feel a little difficult convincing the people that you need to convince to put that plan in action. So I'm not seeing this as it's actually going to be like a failure, whatever you're taking on. Just the part of getting to the finish line might feel a little stressful or difficult for you in the end of September. Also at this time of year, since it's almost October, you know, a lot of businesses are really taking a close look at financial situations and end lines, end goals. And so things just kind of tighten up in general as you go up the ladder of business. So it just, if let's say you're trying to get something done at work and you need some more supplies, or you need something else to do the job, it just might feel like a little more difficult getting those things because of that, because a lot of businesses are probably in this time, since there's been a lot of layoffs and businesses are just working as usual, you know, there's kind of like a tightening of the belt going on perhaps. So it just might feel a little harder than normal for you to be able to get your point across to other people. But so then in the end with the celebration upright, and also interesting that this is the 31. So with the 29, it's like a meeting or something, this situation could happen on the 29th. And then by the 31st, so like difficulties on the 29th, but then on the 31st, there's a celebration. Like you got the job done. It did go through whatever you were working on. And then with the acknowledgement here, which is a 26, so, you know, it didn't come out that way, but I mean, if you put it there, it could be that something on the 26th, since the 26th hasn't even occurred yet, I would just be aware of what happens on the 26th for your work, because you may not notice something that happens because it's in reverse, which leads you to having a harder time, you know, getting this project done or whatever the case is. I mean, ultimately, either way, there's this celebration, but there's something to know about the 26th of this month in September. So seeing, knowing, acceptance, there's just going to be something shown to you on that day. And because it's reversed, it just might be kind of easy to miss it. So just keep your eye out for that on the 26th. So that's what I have for you for your work situation, Sagittarius. It looks like it is going to be a good outcome for you. It just might feel a little difficult, and it might feel like down to the wire about something as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and get a look at your love life, Sagittarius, in the end of September. Okay, so for your love life, Sagittarius, you have a number 50, which is Rhino Spirit, that says overcome any obstacles. So let's see what else we can get about this. So maybe you will be encountering some obstacles in your love life. However, since the card came out upright, it doesn't seem to be like too big of a deal. Like you're going to overcome it pretty easily, and you're going to overcome any struggles in your love life with the help of Spirit. Okay, so with that, you have Take the Lead, which was in reverse. It's a number 3. And you also have Moving On, and that's an 8, which is in reverse, and a 12 in reverse, which is Observe. So with this Overcome Any Obstacles card, for this reading, I'm just sensing something about the number 50 and like long-term stability in your love life. So if you are in a relationship, I do feel that this relationship is going to last possibly your whole lifetime. So if you're in a marriage, it's a stable marriage. And of course, with any relationship, married or not, things can be up and down. And so it seems like possibly your partner here is the one that's taking the lead. Again, we've talked a lot about how in the household things may be different for you right now. So where you might have had more time or space to yourself, now you could be sharing your space with more people. So whether that's your family or you're married and you have children and everybody's home all the time, it just looks like it's a little bit more difficult for you to be like the leader of the household, which might not be something that you necessarily really want, but if that is your role, sometimes it just might feel like because you're sharing so much of the space and the energy that like some of it feels like it's getting kind of sucked away from you at times. And so, there are stresses that happen with that. Like nobody really could have anticipated that their lives would change this much. And so I think a lot of people out there, especially because it's been a while, the pandemic started in the spring, and so now here we are going into the fall. And so that's just taken a toll on pretty much everybody that's in a relationship, I think. I mean, there still are essential workers that go out to work, which is stressful in itself, especially if you have a partner that does that or you do that yourself. Like people could worry about you. But I'm really seeing this as somebody who is partnered and in a relationship. So at times, because of that, people could be thinking like, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of this relationship. And so you might just find yourself thinking about that sometimes during the end of this month. But ultimately, I believe that you are going to stay together because these cards are in the reverse. These are just thoughts. So that definitely could have something to do with if you are resonating with the career part of this reading too, that if you're having those kinds of thoughts, it could be causing you to feel like kind of confused during the day, or, just some of your mental space is being taken up by those thoughts. And it could be possible that it's taking up so much mental space because in a way you might feel like sort of guilty or secretive for thinking these things. But I just want to let you know that I'm, think that a lot of people are having those thoughts because this is just a really unprecedented time and situation. So just kind of like take it easy on yourself for having these kinds of thoughts. And just know that the card that came out in the upright, the first card for your energy of your love relationship or your love life, is that you will overcome any obstacles. So with Observe, that is also reversed. I'm just taking this to mean that, so you can see this woman, there's this rainbow here, and because it's reversed, it looks like it's going down into the ground. So it's almost a sense of like being overgrounded. And in the first portion of the reading, something about meditation and like expanding your mind or consciousness did come up. So I think that there is spiritual help here for you, Sagittarius, when you do these mind expanding exercises. There's angels or spirit guides out there that can help you at this time to, help you get out of your headspace and get out of your like actual home space. But you can do this through just mind expansion. Because there's like all these people around you who are observing you, who would like to help you. So I think through doing those exercises could not only help you with work, but could also help you in your love life, just to help you feel more supported and to give you that break from, kind of the monotonous, like same old thing every day in and out. So that is what I'm getting for your love life. And I think so with those spiritual practices coming into play, then you can turn that into the upright, and then you can be channeling and absorbing this energy from above as well, because it's always great to be grounded, but I just get a sense that maybe you're feeling too grounded, too homebound, it's just the same thing all the time. So take that however it resonates for you, Sagittarius, but I do think there is some help out there for you so that you don't feel so stagnant right now if that's resonating with you. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see more videos like this, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.